Morning everyone. I know a few of you have asked for videos on how to use Sarah's files in Cricut Design Space, so I thought I'd show you. This morning I'm just going to use the pumpkin one, just because that's one of the recent ones I've used. Insert image. As you can see again, this is a lot smaller than the original design. Again, it's an issue with Cricut Design Space, and it's not one yet they're willing to correct or actually acknowledge. So I've got the file here. I'm just going to make it a bit bigger and make it a bit easier to work with. I am going to just insert a circle just to show you how to layer this onto the shape you need. So what I am first going to do is I'm just going to move this out of the way. I'm going to pull. First, you need to ungroup it. This will release the separate layers of the file. I'm just going to pull these two over here because these are solid layers, so don't need much doing of anything. I am just going to quickly layer this pumpkin up. It doesn't need to be very accurate at this stage. I'm just going to drag a square around it and hit group. That will keep that layer of that pumpkin together, which makes it easier for resizing the whole file shape. Welcome to the patch. Again, I am just going to drag a shape around it, and on this occasion I'm actually going to hit weld. That will make it permanent. It keeps all the wording together, which is especially important for script fonts, which this is. If it is just a normal typed font, then you can either hit attach or group, and that will keep it where you need to keep it, apart from when you then send to the cutting mat. But if you want to play around with the design, move the words around a bit, then I would suggest group for now until you're happy with it, and then hit either weld or attach, which will make it permanent and keep it together. It will also cut it as one on the cutting mat. The leaves, again, I'm just going to drag around it. On this occasion I'm just going to hit group, simply because these are easy enough to layer later on, so I don't need to really worry about these staying in the position they are in. And I'm just going to drag it over to here. So I'm just going to move this out of the way for now, and I'm going to bring my circle back in. 2 minutes. I will quickly group this together, and this will keep it all as one together actually. Then I'm going to bring my circle back in, and I am just going to click and drag this file to the size that I would like, and play around with it until I'm happy with the design. Obviously up here you can use the arrange to bring to the front and to send layers to the back, just so you can play around with them until you are happy. So that is how I resize a file. Now, one of the things for me is getting the file on straight. It's not particularly, it won't particularly matter with this particular design. The rustic looks quite good, but generally what I tend to do if I want to keep a design central on shape is I will then come back. I'm just going to ungroup this and remove certain layers of it. And then what I will do is, see, I wasn't particularly bothered about this layer, but I did want this one to be central. I will come round, I will drag the two together, and I will hit align, and I'll hit center, and then I will attach it to that design. Now then, when it comes to cutting it, obviously I cut it as normal, and I will cut around the outer circle and leave myself a 2-3 mil gap. I will then apply transfer tape, or you can just read this normal, and I will read from the inner circle and keep the outer circle as my guide. I then apply my transfer tape, I then flip it over on the table, and I use that to line up my shape. I'm happy to show you a step-by-step process in that on one of the more complex designs so that you can see. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, just add them below, and I can either talk you through it or add another tutorial to show you.